Alright everybody, making this video to address the low oil pressure problems on the 4.7 liter V8. I bought this truck here, Dodge Ram 1500. Got a really good deal on it. The guy said it had oil pressure problems. What was happening is the car would start up, everything would run fine, the engine would get up to temperature, and then the oil pressure would go to zero. Initially, I just figured, hey, it's probably just the oil pressure sender. And I changed that, had the same problem. So I went ahead and I put in this manual gauge, and that was telling me pretty much the same thing. So, after that, I ended up pulling the oil pan. Engine looked pretty clean. I started pulling some rod caps and noticed that the bearings were pretty shot. So, out came the engine. It's out, and now it's getting rebuilt, which is unfortunate because this motor was already rebuilt once. When I bought it, the guy said it was a remanufactured engine put in, and kind of crazy for 20,000 miles for the engine to destroy all the bearings. I'll show you over here what they look like. Here's one of the mains, just trashed. I got a bunch more. They're all just beat up, destroyed. And some of the rod bearings don't look that great, but that's not where I was necessarily losing my oil pressure. I was losing it from these main bearings. Now, since we're talking about the 4.7 liter engine, there's something very, very important if you're going to rebuild one of these engines that you need to take note of. This engine has select fit main bearings. Now you'll see here, this is a printout from the actual instruction manual. There are 3 types of bearings, different types that go on this engine. Now, on the crankshaft, usually there will be, on this tone wheel down here, there is letters. I'm not going to flip this up right now because I don't want to damage it while I got the camera in my hand. But there's 5 letters on the tone wheel. I believe this one was C, 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 and B. And those are your letters for the types of bearings that are fit for the specific journal sizes. Now, I took this engine to a machine shop and had him inspect everything. He looked at the crank. I got away with it, just happened to be polished. And he recommended standard bearings. Well, you can't put standard bearings in them. The bearings I took out of the engine are standard. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, but they're standard bearings. And the problem with just throwing standard bearings on a stock 4.7 liter crankshaft is that each journal varies in size, or may vary in size. Now my letters were CCCB, and I had the machine shop guy actually remeasure my journals, and the letters that are on the crankshaft tone wheel are not accurate to the actual journal sizes. Here's my journal sizes. You can see 4 and 5 are just slightly different from the others. But these numbers match up with A, which is undersized. So, all 5 of my main bearings need to be this grade A undersized. Well, you can't find those just about anywhere. You have to buy Mopar factory parts. If you can't find these, which you should be able to, I got these from MoparOverstock.com. Unfortunately, I got to send these back because they were damaged during shipping, so I'm getting a new set of bearings. But besides that, unless you have the crank ground down, to like 10 under or 20 under, and you can just go ahead and get, you know, brand new set of undersized bearings or whatever. You have to get these Mopar bearings that with the grade, and I believe each one of these bearings was about 13 bucks a piece. So they're not cheap, but if you're going to rebuild the engine, you need to do it right. You need to make sure you get the right bearings for your crankshaft, because what's going to happen is you're going to wear out your bearings because the oil clearances are not going to be correct. So check that out if you're going to rebuild an engine. This might have been the cause to my low oil pressure issue. Might have been. I don't know for sure. There was a lot of things going on with this engine that probably led to catastrophic failure within 20,000 miles. But I guess that's besides the point now, because the engine's out and I'll be rebuilding it. So this is the first video addressing the oil pressure issue. I will probably be making a series of videos after this to show you how I rebuilt this engine properly and using the right factory parts. I've already went ahead and painted the motor, put new freeze plugs in. Machine shop did a rehone for me because the cylinders were absolutely fine. I'm getting some new pistons put in because the original ones looked like they had been hung on the connecting rods incorrectly. They were kind of stuck, so all the moly coating was worn off and they were just all beat up. So I just decided to get all new pistons. The crank's been polished, the head's checked out just fine. I just got to clean these up a little bit. They just got a little dirty, but everything's right there. So we're gonna slap some new bearings in this thing, new pistons, and the timing chain will and sprockets will be reused because they were fine. They look brand new, and yeah, hopefully we will have a functioning 4.7 by the end of this. Hope this video helps to anybody trying to address their low oil pressure problems. If you got a 4.7 and it's having the low oil pressure problems, go ahead, change the oil pressure sender first. That's gonna be probably the cause of your problem. These things go bad. I got one. Where's the old one? Over here. Here it is. I actually had to break it to get it off because I didn't have the special tool originally, but you do need a special socket to get these off. They sell them at like AutoZone or O'Reilly's. They're like 10 bucks. I just bought it, used it, and took it back. I'll probably go buy it again when I go to reinstall this. It's a like 1.5 inch deep well or some shit like that. But anyway, go ahead and get all your new parts, and go ahead, change your oil pressure sensor, and if that doesn't work, put a manual gauge in there and make sure that that's going to tell you if you're actually getting zero oil pressure. And if you're getting zero oil pressure at idle when the engine's warm, you've got a big problem. And let me tell you, no oil will really screw up everything. This engine would have probably blown up if I didn't take it apart sooner. So hope this information helps you, and tune in next time when I start rebuilding this thing.